Hi, my name is Mirshai Salu, Visual Information Specialist for the Montgomery County Council. The Council is working hard to provide residents valuable information related to COVID-19 in multiple languages to ensure everyone has equal access to the information they need. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and with the pandemic that has currently taken over the world, mental health has become more important than ever. In today's segment, I'm speaking with Dr. Nicole Alford about the effects of COVID-19 on mental health. Dr. Alford is a licensed clinical psychologist who's been impacting lives for the past 20 years. She's a mental health advocate and compassionate activist seeking to destigmatize help seeking and raise mental health awareness. Thanks for being with us today, Dr. Alford.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So we'll just dive right in. So with the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people are feeling a lot of stress and anxiety due to the lifestyle and habit changes that is currently taking place because of the pandemic. From a mental health perspective, can you tell me why these emotions are commonly felt during a time like this?
Sure. So first of all, again, thank you so much for having me. What I would say is that for the entire nation, this seems to have come out of nowhere. We've had very little opportunity or time to wrap our minds around something was coming and something is going to happen and it's going to sort of change the way we function entirely. It seems that one day things were fine and just like that overnight, things are all different. So I think that's the first reason why many people are faced with anxiety. Secondly, there's fear associated with this. This is a situation where our lives are at risk. The lives of our family members, our loved ones, and many people are struggling with getting accurate information. And unfortunately, we're hearing information that is not adding up. Maybe one day we hear this and the next day we hear that. One day we hear you should wear gloves and then you hear from the experts, well, gloves are maybe not really necessary. So I think it's that. And then lastly, our livelihoods are impacted. And so there's fear wrapped around, what do I do in terms of my job? Am I going to be able to fiscally survive and float? Am I going to have to work? I was planning on retiring. And so there's just a lot of uncertainty. So I think because so many areas of our life are impacted, people are really, really struggling.
Yeah. Are there common signs that people should look out for? Like if somebody is experiencing depression or anxiety, is there something that we should be looking out for? How would we know?
So here's the first thing that I would say. The first thing that I would say is that most of the reactions that people are going to experience, feel, or see in their loved ones are typically normal. This is an uncertain situation. This is something we've never faced before. And so to have difficulty sleeping, to feel nervous and anxious and unease, to maybe have your appetite curbed a little bit, to maybe be worried, all normal reactions. Any clinician would say these are typical responses. We would expect to see this. How we know it's problematic is when it begins to impact your functioning. So for example, when you're getting 0 hours of sleep because you're tossing and turning, and that lasts for days and days and days, and then it begins to impair your ability to function. You're falling asleep. You are driving in dangerous situations, right? Falling asleep. So when it begins to impact your day-to-day functioning, that is when clinicians know that this is impacting and it may be a mental health issue that we need to treat. So that is really how you know.
Okay. And how do you advise people cope with this, with these feelings at home? Like what can they do at home today to, cope with this, with these issues and feelings and emotions?
So again, I think the first thing really to do is to know that you're not alone in this, and you're not alone in feeling the way you feel, and that how you feel is very likely how millions of other Americans are feeling right now. We are all very concerned. We are all worried. We are all fearful, right? So that's the first thing, is to really just acknowledge what is going on for you, in your mind, in your body, how you're feeling, right? So to acknowledge that and to know that it is normal. So that's number one. Number two, I think, to talk things through, right? So, thank God for technology. Thank God for social media. Some of the positives are that is that it allows us to remain connected. And so maybe when you have your phone calls at work, many leaders and managers and bosses really are acknowledging this, and they're checking on their people, and they're saying, how are you doing with this? Are you okay? Right? But they're having the conversation, and they're making it okay to talk about it and to have that conversation. And then lastly, know that, again, if it is beginning to impact your everyday functioning, those things that you used to be able to do with no problem, and now you find yourself struggling to parent your kids, to wake up and get to work on time, to focus and to concentrate. When you are beginning to see that you are impaired in those respects, it's time to do something else. Reach out maybe to your EAP at your employer. Most employers have EAP services. Health insurance, you can go to the health insurance website. You can look for a specialist. Many mental health specialists and clinicians are doing telemedicine and teletherapy. And so, of course, that would be a resource. And then, of course, we have organizations such as NAMI, right? National Alliance on Mental Illness. And they have information, they have podcasts, they have resources on their websites. So that's what I would say are some things you can do at home to try to cope.
Okay. Yeah, those resources are really important because some people might not feel comfortable like talking to their families about this, like what they're going through, or they don't want to like stress their families. So I think having those resources and being able to talk to other people might be helpful for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't hold it all in, right? It has to go somewhere. And so no, I think talking is really going to be helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Dr. Alford, thank you so much, for the privilege of your time today and sharing this information with us. I'm sure it will help somebody.
I hope so. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope that you enjoyed my discussion with Dr. Alford. If you have any questions, you can go on our Facebook page and in the comments section, write your questions there. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and have a great evening.